It's going to be a long night for people along parts of Florida's Gulf Coast as Hurricane Hermine is moving ashore, the latest on the storm.
There are many questions tonight about the death of a Boyle County woman in her home. Investigators say it's a homicide case.
You know, people are going to do whatever they can do to be a part of that addiction.
Lexington firefighters and paramedics talk to us about the challenges they're facing as Kentucky's drug epidemic continues to worsen.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. You got to love the timing. Just in time for Labor Day weekend, some great weather has arrived here in the Bluegrass with sunshine and comfortable temperatures.
But we are also keeping a very close eye on Hurricane Hermine along the Florida Gulf Coast. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and your no-wait weather forecast. Chris?
Yeah, tonight of the good and the bad. The good is what is on top of central and eastern Kentucky. The bad right now going on in Florida. Let's touch on both. We'll start here on the home front where late evening thermometers have dropped into the low and mid-60s into much of central and eastern Kentucky. We got some pockets of 50s already showing up just to our north, and that is a sign of cooler times ahead. Your Defender Radar Network, nothing going on across the Bluegrass state. And if you're up and at 'em early tomorrow morning, how about a cool start with mid to upper 50s, upper 70s coming up into the heart of tomorrow afternoon with a mostly sunny sky. Overall, just a fantastic Friday. Now the bad. Look at this impressive compact hurricane. This is Hermine, and look at those feeder bands spiraling around that eye that is getting ready to come ashore here very, very soon. It's an 80-mile-per-hour hurricane moving to the northeast at around 14 miles an hour. It's a minimal hurricane, but it is packing a big-time storm surge right in the Big Bend area of Florida. It is coming in just to the east of the Apalachicola area. Here's Tallahassee. Just a few miles south of that is where we're going to get landfall literally at any minute over the next half hour or so. And look at the eye that is battering parts of the Big Bend right now. Put this in motion to show you how that center of circulation is just about to cross land, guys. As soon as it crosses that leading eye wall, as soon as it gets on shore, that is marking the first landfalling hurricane in Florida in 11 years. That is hard to believe. That's one of the longest droughts on record for the Sunshine State.
Well, Chris just mentioned it tonight. For the first time in more than a decade, people there in Florida are dealing with that landfalling hurricane.
Today, people along parts of Florida's Gulf Coast wrapped up their last-minute preparations. Many of them have evacuated as heavy rain and powerful winds are expected to continue through tonight. Don Champion has the latest now from Florida in our top story at 11.
The coastal town of Apalachicola is where the eye of Hurricane Hermine is expected to hit, bringing high winds as much as 20 inches of rain and 12 feet of storm surge.
And we just buckle down and we pray.
Hundreds of residents in this Big Bend area of Florida have also been ordered to evacuate. Those close by who are staying tied up boats, sandbagged homes, and boarded up windows.
I got shutters on the front, the south and east sides, and I've been down here just checking all my lines and making sure my boat's secure.
In the city of St. Mark's, the water started rising hours before the hurricane neared. Some residents tried to make the most of it. Florida's governor says Hermine is life-threatening and is urging everyone to take extra precautions.
Remember, we cannot rescue you during a storm.
Watches and warnings are up along the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic coast as far north as New Jersey. Hermine could also spawn middle-of-the-night tornadoes. Don Champion, CBS News, Panama City Beach, Florida.
Florida health leaders also warning that the storm could hamper efforts to control the mosquito population and the spread of the Zika virus. Mosquitoes breed in standing water, and there will be plenty of that around after Hermine passes through.
Tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what led to a woman's death inside a Boyle County home. They say her stepson found her dead this afternoon in the home on Old Houstonville Road near Junction City. And the coroner tells us this is being investigated as a homicide. Monique Blair has the story new at 11.
Family members and neighbors have spent the past couple of hours gathered in front of this home out here on Old Houstonville Road. This home where the Boyle County coroner says 52-year-old Rhonda Oakley was found dead by her stepson Thursday afternoon.
This is a death of a 52-year-old lady who was found on the basement floor when her son got home from school. It does appear to be a homicide. and that's all I can tell you at the moment.
Coroner Hamner says Oakley's neighbors saw her outside about an hour before her stepson found her body in the basement. Kentucky State Police are handling the investigation, and right now they say they are not releasing the manner in which Oakley was killed. Police also say that while there are not any suspects at this time and no arrests have been made, the victim's car was missing from the scene, so state police are asking for the public's help in locating a 2014 white Honda Civic passenger car with Kentucky plates that read 2113BT. One neighbor out here who was very distraught described Rhonda Oakley to me as an incredibly sweet woman. In Boyle County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And the coroner says an autopsy will be performed tomorrow in Frankfort. New tonight, police have arrested the mother of a badly injured Laurel County baby. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office has charged 31-year-old Jessica Nicely with assault and wanton endangerment. Deputies say she claimed the 7-week-old baby was in her father's care when she was injured. They arrested the baby's father, 34-year-old Gary Nicely, on Tuesday and charged him with assault. Deputies say the baby suffered a severe head injury and is in critical condition at Kentucky Children's Hospital. They say they've since discovered the baby's twin also had injuries, and that child is now at the same hospital.
It's bad and only getting worse. Today, the Kentucky Department for Public Health issued a public health advisory for fentanyl-laced heroin. This comes after a surge in drug overdoses in recent weeks. At 6 tonight, a WKYT investigation looked at carfentanil, or elephant heroin, a frightening drug. Experts say it has arrived here in central Kentucky. At new at 11, Garrett Weimer rides along with Lexington paramedics tonight to see how they're fighting the drug epidemic.
You said 7? Subject down is a frequent call paramedics say is getting more and more common all the time, often the result of drugs.
When we show up, they are either not breathing or breathing, 2 to 4 times a minute, to where, we need to jump in and breathe for them until we give the Narcan.
The so-called miracle drug, Narcan, is being used now more than ever for a population now in more need of a miracle than ever. It's not just the number of overdoses. The amount of Narcan paramedics are using also continues to climb. Now, obviously, it depends on the person, their size, their tolerance, things like that. But in general, paramedics say they're having to use more Narcan to help the person.
Before we maybe gave a milligram of Narcan to bring somebody out of this situation, whereas now maybe it takes 2 or to the more max dose of 4 to bring them out of the kind of bring them out of the unconscious state that they're in.
Fire officials say the number of Narcan doses they used last year was nearly double that of 2 years prior. This year, they're on pace to use nearly 1,800 doses, using an increasing number of doses each month. This call was drug-related, but turned out not to be heroin. Still, paramedics administered Narcan to be on the safe side. The goal, though, is never to have to use it at all.
People are going to do whatever they can do to be a part of that addiction and to feed that addiction. So I think the bottom line is just if you seek medical attention, get help wherever you need it.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Now, paramedics say that most heroin-related overdoses used to be in drug users' homes or at a friend's house. Now, first responders say they're finding more and more in public restrooms, at gas stations, restaurants, and stores.
Police spent more than a week searching for him, but tonight a man accused of killing his wife in Bath County is in custody. Police in Gibson County, Indiana, say they arrested Christopher White early this morning. The county sheriff says Gibson called his office and said he thought he was wanted in Kentucky. Police say they later arrested him in a truck stop parking lot. Investigators say White shot his wife Judy August 24th. He's now charged with murder. White's family had pleaded for him to turn himself in.
I know that prison's not the best thing, but to us it is. At least he's still alive. And I know that that's hard for Judy's family, and she didn't deserve this. I know that. She was an awesome woman. We loved her very much.
State police say White should be brought back to Kentucky in the next few days. They have not said what they think led to the murder. New tonight, a former UK basketball player is facing charges. Paris police arrested 32-year-old Preston Lemaster on Tuesday. He's facing multiple drug charges and bonded out of jail a few hours after his arrest. In 2014, Lemaster was cited on theft charges after Lexington police say he sold counterfeit UK basketball tickets. He played for UK from 2002 to 2006.
A mural on the UK campus has caused some controversy, so UK leaders say they now have a way to change it. That's in 9 minutes.
And then police have arrested a teenage couple they say was behind a murder plot in eastern Kentucky.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
That long holiday weekend is just around the corner, and my, oh my, what an absolutely gorgeous weather pattern we have rolling into the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Cold front made its way through the area last night, ushering in those cool northerly winds that we have out there this evening. 60s across much of the Bluegrass State, Ohio Valley. To the north, the 50s are settling in, and a few 40s into the UP of Michigan, into parts of southern Canada right now. That's an indication of just how cool this air mass is. Most of us dropping at least our thermometers into the low and mid 60s out there late on this Thursday evening. And that is quite a bit colder than what we were talking about last night at this time. Jackson, Prestonsburg, you are 10 degrees colder than 24 hours ago. Defender Radar Network, I've got nothing to show you. I'm not going to have a whole lot to talk about for a little while now. That's okay by me. 77 for a high temperature tomorrow afternoon. All right, 78, 79, depending on exactly where you are. 50s, though, to start. Low humidity, plenty of sunshiny skies, not only tomorrow. It's a great day. Saturday, another great day. Oh, let's make it 3 in a row, shall we? Another great one showing up for your Sunday. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast. We go into tomorrow morning. 50s to start, low 70s for your lunchtime hour. Tomorrow afternoon, temperatures will be, again, mainly into the upper 70s into most areas. Heading out to a high school football game tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock kickoff, roughly, low 70s at that time. As we make our way toward the end of the evening, already now 60 to 65 degrees in much of the region. Waking up early on a Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, look at the numbers, low to mid 50s. Forget about running the AC at night for the first time in a little while. We go into Saturday afternoon, upper 70s to low 80s, depending on exactly where you are. It could be a little more in the way of some clouds into southeastern Kentucky. We'll watch to see if our tropical system can throw at least a stray shower into the mountains of southeastern Kentucky. Saturday evening, look at the numbers, low 60s by that time. Hello Sunday, and hello 50s for the third straight morning here into the Bluegrass State. Into the afternoon, generally 80 to 85 degrees as we go into our Sunday, waiting on that Labor Day forecast. Gulf of Mexico, eastern Gulf of Mexico. It's a storm we've talked about for a while. It took its good old sweet time in getting its act together, but it is a nice little hurricane now. It's a Category 1, has winds of 80 miles an hour. Hermine is moving to the northeast at 14 miles an hour. And at some point over the next hour and change, we're likely to get an official landfall with this storm just to the south of Tallahassee in the Big Bend area of Florida. And again, that is putting down those winds sustained right in the eye wall of around 80 miles an hour, but it's also producing upwards of 15 inches of rain into parts of Florida. And the trajectory on that is going to take it right up the eastern seaboard into parts of the Carolinas and maybe just offshore from the northeast as we go into later Sunday and Monday, trying to rev up again. That's going to leave us alone, and that's okay by everyone across the Bluegrass State, with temperatures very nice over the next several days. Middle of next week, we'll try to steam it up one more time.
It's hard, though, to be excited about our weather when we know so many people are going to be impacted.
And right now on the Gulf Coast, it is just about to make landfall. 80 miles an hour with sustained winds. You can have gusts that approach 100 in, that, in the outer eye wall there.
Chris, thank you.
A Kentucky man sued Beyonce, claiming the singer stole some of his ideas. But now a judge has made a decision in the case. That's in 8 minutes.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
It's been covered up for months, but tonight, University of Kentucky leaders say they now have a plan for a controversial mural on campus.
Some people raise concerns about the mural in Memorial Hall, saying the way it depicts African Americans is offensive. Sabira Rayford tells us how UK plans to change the mural.
The outside of Memorial Hall is getting a much-needed restoration, but it's what's inside that has people talking.
I don't believe that a mural depicting slave labor is a good way to start a dialogue on race and diversity in the University of Kentucky.
It was that sentiment by students that caused UK to take a second look at this mural. Today it is covered and has been that way since the last school year. UK spokesman Jay Blanton says after covering the mural, they started a committee to figure out what to do.
So their idea, and it's a great idea, thoughtful recommendation, is to put other art around it, other public art around it that tells a broader story, a more complete story, and a more sensitive story about our history, about our development, and even about what we still aspire to be.
Robert Buckingham says he was a part of that conversation, but he doesn't think this is the right solution.
If they add art that depicts more of the good side to it, I can understand that. However, I do see that as appeasement. A little appeasement to suffice, like, well, we did something, we repainted it. That's not what the student body clearly wants. So.
But it's not just Memorial Hall getting a diversity makeover. Blanton says the university has decided to add more diverse art all around campus.
This is a great place, lots of buildings, lots of outdoor spaces where public art can and should be, but it needs to be done thoughtfully and with an eye toward telling a complete story.
Blanton says the university will have to raise money to add the art. He says they hope to have the changes done sometime this fall. At the University of Kentucky, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Blanton says the new art will be chosen by the university's public art community.
Tonight, police in Bell County say they have stopped a murder plot and arrested 2 teenagers. They've charged 18-year-old Joseph Helton with conspiracy to commit murder, and his underage girlfriend also faces charges. Police say the couple plotted to kill the girl's aunt and uncle so they could run off together. They say the girl sent Helton pictures of her aunt and uncle's house, even showing entrances and exits.
We'll be continuing investigation. You know, there'll be more that'll be attached to the case.
Helton didn't want to talk from jail today. Police say the girl was taken to a holding facility in Adair County. New tonight, a Whitley County inmate facing more charges after police say he tried to escape. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says on Monday, 21-year-old burglary suspect Jordan Ramey was in a holding cell with other inmates at the county's judicial center. Deputies say Ramey removed a ceiling tile and tried to escape through a crawl space, but they say he was not able to find a way out and was caught. Deputies say Ramey caused damage to the ceiling. He's now been charged with escape and criminal mischief.
New tonight, a judge has thrown out a Kentucky man's claims that Beyonce stole some of his ideas. In a lawsuit, Matthew Fulks of Louisville claimed the singer took ideas from his short film to make the trailer for her visual album Lemonade. The lawsuit claimed Lemonade was produced months after a senior vice president at Columbia Recording Corporation had been sent a link to Fulks' film, but a federal judge has dismissed his copyright infringement lawsuit. He said he would explain his reasoning for throwing it out later.
College football underway tonight, and boy, Brian, what a shocker in Knoxville.
Appalachian State and the Vols going to overtime. Got the highlights of that. Georgetown getting a win tonight as well. Former Wildcat Reggie Mint has surfaced within the Ohio Valley Conference 2 days before the season starts. Sports is next. The odd and strange saga of Reggie Mint took another unexpected turn earlier tonight. Mint has transferred to Jacksonville State. Mint abruptly left the UK team, you will remember, just 2 days after fall camp and into practice. And now 2 days before the Cat season opener, Mint is with the 2015 FCS National runner-up Gamecocks. Mint left the Cats for what was called personal issues after playing 10 games last season. He had 4 starts, 31 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. He is immediately eligible. Now, at 48 hours from now, we will know how the night went for Drew Barker in his first season opening start as a Wildcats quarterback. Barker was named the starter early on, and he knows this is his offense to guide. When asked earlier today what Mark Stoops was looking forward to seeing Saturday, he mentioned Barker first.
I always will tell you that the quarterback needs help. I've said it every single time, no matter who the quarterback was. It's not ever all on him. They have to play well around him, and they have to make plays for him. They have to block for him and run and do the things necessary. And so, you know, that's led to us being inconsistent, is the unit. And I think that's where we've made big strides, and I am excited to see the whole offensive unit, and I'm certainly excited to see Drew take the field with a year older and with all the work that he's put in. I'm excited to see him play.
Cannot wait for this thing to get going finally. 7:30 kickoff between the Cats and the Golden Eagles. From Commonwealth, you can see it on ESPNU.
2 days from kickoff, folks. Less than 2 days, really. The number 2, worn by Dorian Baker and Tim Couch and Bud Dupree and Shane Boyd and Greg Woods. 2 is also the number of passes Chris Westry picked off last season as a true freshman, and UK officially has won 2 SEC championships in 1950 and 1976. And you can go to WKYT.com for more of our countdown information. Louisville Cardinals beginning the college football season tonight, and it was the Lamar Jackson show for the Birds. He's on the move, 36-yard touchdown, 7-0, and it got worse in a hurry. And I mean in a hurry. Jackson again, first quarter, 3rd and long. Across the middle, back of the end zone, Reggie Bonifant, touchdown Louisville. It is 14-0. But wait, there's more. Louisville scores 28 points in the first quarter, 28 in the second quarter. Jackson has 6 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing scores. Ties the school record, 70-14. Appalachian State on Rocky Top, taking on the 9th-ranked Volunteers. Mountaineers led 7-3. Marcus Cox makes the catch, and he gets free. A 33-yard touchdown, but they missed the extra point. 13-3. Tennessee rallies, needing a big play late in the game. The Vols get it. Joshua Dobbs to Josh Malone, 67 yards. We're tied at 13. We go to overtime. In the extra period, Dobbs, 3rd down. Watch this. Reaches for the goal line, gets crunched. There's a fumble. And the Big Orange is there to recover in the end zone. Jalen Hurd has it. Oh, my. 9 years ago to the day, remember Appy State beat Michigan in the Big House? They cannot do it on Rocky Top. 2013. The Vols win it. Wow, college football season getting underway in Central Kentucky tonight. Georgetown at home against the Phoenix of Cumberland University. First quarter, G-Town from the shade to the sun. QB Ozzie Mann on the fade to Ross Cox. Tigers lead at 7-0. Special teams can kill you or they can help you. Just ask Cumberland punter Matthew Alter, who gets creamed after the low snap. Jonathan Harrison recovers for the Striped Cats. Second quarter, it's that combination of Mann to Cox, Ozzie to Ross. Another touchdown. That makes it 14-0. Tigers get the win tonight, 28-7. That's a look at sports. It is finally here. We'll be right back.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is less than a minute away here on WKYT. And tonight's guests include Larry Wilmore.
It is almost Friday.
Yes.
Long weekend for a lot of folks.
And it looks really good around here. That is not the case right now. Gulf of Mexico Hurricane Hermine is getting ready to make landfall at any moment. That eye wall should be coming ashore just to the south of Tallahassee in the Big Bend area.
Update on that situation in the morning with Bill and Andrea.
We will see you back here tomorrow.